Man, it has been a long while since I've done a tier list. How long has it actually been? Ah, shit. So, yeah, I've been gone a while from tier list stuff. Sorry about that. I've only recently been able to actually work on, finally, the double action revolvers tier list. So, that's happening soon. Ish. Well, at the very least, I can say I did do something. I am working on the double action revolvers tier list, I promise. But I was also thinking, you know what? I've yet to do the update for everything in 106 to 111. Because that's what recently came out as of 2023. And when I was editing the video, I realized just how much there was. So I thought, you know what, let's just make this its own video. I'll release double action revolvers soon, within like a few weeks, probably. I have a lot of other ideas and things I want to do at some point later, but at the very least I can get this done and get some sort of an update. So, I hope you enjoy. I suppose. I'm not sure. So let's go and start off with the AMag or AutoMag series. We have the AutoMag II in 22 Win Mag. Pretty simple, very simple sort of gun, I suppose. It's hard to really say too much about this, but I mean, hey, at the very least, it's, you know, something. Sights are pretty okay from the looks of it. Kind of a little difficult to see, obviously, but that's because you just have a black-ass target. Pretty damn accurate from the looks of it. Obviously, it wasn't perfectly where I'm aiming, but it's hard to see with this thing because it's little much to say, but accurate nonetheless. I think it's pretty good. No SOSIGs were harmed during the making of this. These guys are volunteers. They are totally fine and armored to the nines, as you can see. The AMag II, not really special, but honestly not terrible, I'd say. And not only that, we also have the AMag V, which this is a very big boy. Jesus Christ. Ranking for both of these, I think, honestly, they are about C tier, I'd say. I don't know if they're actually any sort of proper in terms of like combat or anything at all, but I don't imagine these things are really used terribly often. So if they aren't, probably above the F12. I'm gonna say the F12. If they have in fact served in combat, I might up in the B tier, but honestly, I don't think they have. Maybe they have, admittedly, but I'm not too sure. But we will see what happens. I'll look through things a little bit later. Honestly, I do like them. I do actually think they are kind of cool. Like the little vented, the vented slide right there for 50 Action Express. They do admittedly look really cool. I think, honestly, they are pretty neat, pretty nice sort of guns. I do like them. Alright. Next up, the Bayard 1908. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where this thing is going to go, but you know what? I'm going to give it the old college try. So, sights are basically impossible to see. I honestly could not tell where I'm at, but hey, you know what? I hit Charlie, which is pretty good. 32 ACP, as to be expected. Pretty much non-existent, and also, might I say, for a 32 ACP, a very tiny round in a pocket pistol. 5+1. Very disappointing. F tier. So, the Deagles did get a rework. The classic Deagle, as I'm pretty sure it's more or less called, basically just the standard Deagle, is kind of similar to the original Deagle, as we showed before. It is still has the 2 rails, 50 Action Express, 7+1, though that is liable to change, because guess what? We have 10+1 now. Which is super, super nice. So, let's go and see accuracy real quick. Damn, that's accurate. Holy shit. That was also a fucking terrible shot. One thing that we didn't really say before is the sort of recoil. that 50 Action Express has, and that's for, obviously, you know, Deagles and 50 Action Express having a fucking lockup in a pistol. Also, Anton, maybe change that sound, maybe? I'm definitely one for sound design, no matter what. That is pretty nice, but that... And it's pretty accurate to what it sounds like, but need just a little bit more graininess, I think. This thing still looks honestly amazing, even though, let's be real, Major Ocelot would most certainly very much disagree with how this thing looks.
Engravings give you no tactical advantage whatsoever.
You know what? I don't care. This thing looks honestly fucking awesome. I really do like how it looks. I have to admit, it is incredible. I love it. This thing's just awesome. But with that said, despite the amazing engravings, the two rails, as always before, and even the, I guess, wood polymer, I'm not even sure if it's actual wood, but who knows, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Despite how good this looks, there's actually others now. We have a more classic style Deagle, which admittedly also is rather simplified, only one rail. It is essentially the same thing, and is a lot similar to the 357 and 44 Magnum. It's pretty much the exact same gun. But I have to admit, very simple, very basic, but, you know, it looks nice, it looks clean. I like it. But, of course, Anton had to change things. So we have the long barrel version, and we have multiple different barrels, as you can see. Let's go ahead and get a longer barrel, because why the fuck not? This thing is ridiculous, by the way, I must say. Well, doesn't seem like it's really doing much to him after that still, which is a right shame. So let's go ahead and get an even longer barrel. This is just ridiculous at this point. I can't say that there is in fact two rails here, but you know what? We're going to find out. Red dot here. So let's see, is it just one long rail? No, it is actually two top rails. That is intriguing. Well, anyways, let's see how much damage we get increased from this. We might have honestly hit our theoretical maximum limit, but it's hard to say at this point. This thing is just ridiculous for ridiculous sake. With all of this coming ahead, with all of this now in the game, all these different Deagles and everything, I think, honestly, there isn't really much that's going to change where the Deagle is. I think top B tier is still about the right place for it. It has slightly increased damage. It does have good full metal jacket, which is able to go through, you know, basic Kevlar, which is, as we found out, 2A Kevlar. It's not terrible. It's not really, you know, bad per se, but I don't see any of these new variants, in fact, increasing it any further. I think where it is right now at, you know, simply top of B tier is still accurate. But of course, one that I think will have to change everything is the carbine Desert Eagle. And that's because it's not going to be considered for the semi-automatic pistols. Comparatively to all the other Deagles, this thing is, like, very spammable. Easy to reset, easy to work with. This thing, honestly, is just downright incredible comparing to normal Deagles. This thing is just in a league of its own. So we're not considering it for the actual tier list for semi-auto pistols, because I don't think this thing actually is deserving of being in semi-auto pistols. So we're actually going to leave this one for the carbines section. God damn it, I forgot about that. Alright, fine. I do not like the HiPoint. We have the 380 HiPoint. The model LP, which most likely is by HP 380. So we have a 380 ACP HiPoint, which, can I also just real quick say something about the engravings here, just to get a good look real quick. Anton, thank you for doing this. This is fucking incredible. So we have, instead of HiPoint, we have Low Point Firearms, which is honestly incredible, made by Beeswax Incorporated, I believe that says, in Celeryville, CH. I'm not sure where that might be, but, you know, This is the model LP380, obviously low point 380. I can't lie, I do like the model for it. It does look a little bit nicer compared to, like, you know, standard C9s, you know, actual 9mm. The problem I have, of course, with the, you know, the 380 low point here, even though it's honestly fucking hilarious, is though it looks kind of cool, actually, compared to, like, the HiPoint C9 and everything and all, the 380, I mean, it's kind of a shittier, you know, 9mm, let's be honest. At the very least, it is accurate, which I'm willing to say. Then also it does have an 8 and 10+1 magazine, which is pretty nice. Anton, why did you make the sound design for this thing so shit? Like, God, just the sounds of this thing, it just... God, those sounds are just horrible. Like, the sounds for this is honestly just horrible. It honestly sounds like there's like sand or dirt or grime in there, and it just really detracts from it, honestly. Like, Jesus Christ. But of course, Anton couldn't stop there. He decided to give us a tactical version, which, as expected, looks fucking disgusting. There's the 10+1 magazine right here, the 10 round. So we have a laser. We also have a red dot, which is actually kind of the more restrictive version. HiPoint 380. This is disgusting. The normal is somewhat okay. I'm gonna say D tier. Honestly, in 380, really sucks. Anton, again, another Anton plays. See if you can get a HiPoint C9, get an actual 9mm HiPoint to us, please. Though I do not like them, do please give us a fucking 9mm. Like, honestly. I'd say most likely this is probably going to go probably above the Explorer 22. Actually, no, that's honestly terrible. I'll put it above the C93. Honestly, it's not terrible. It's just the cartridge really isn't good. But, you know, that's just my personal gripe. Oh, God damn it, I forgot about that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. Fine, I'll talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zip 22. You all know where this is going. You all know exactly where this is going. I don't care if the game apparently actually makes this thing work flawlessly every time because, you know, it's not like Receiver 2. We all know what this is. We all know why this is shit. And if you don't, go ahead and check out Ian at Forgotten Weapons. And, you'll see exactly why this is so shit. Well, as well as also just look around on the internet in general, and you'll find out just how fucking ass this thing is. This was designed to be the safest gun of all time. The best way to charge it, you put your hand very close to the barrel. That is the first safety violation, and already I am very much not okay with this. Even if this is not a real gun, well, in my hands at least, I don't care. This thing is just, no. I like how you can actually see there are sights on this, as you can see there, that are immediately covered up by the Picatinny rail. Brazil. Fuck you. Okay, so, we actually have some guns that I don't personally know, nor have I actually messed with a little bit. I have messed with the P210s, but not these guys, actually. So this is the Lahti L35. Kind of a finished look. Oh, that is actually really cool. Look at that. You can actually see the barrel tilt back. Okay, I'll give you credit for this, Anton. That's pretty fucking cool. So, I'm guessing 9mm from the looks of it. That's what it seems like. Sure enough, number 19. Standard stuff there, obviously. You know, any sort of plus P, especially the API, as expensive as it is, totally worth it. So let's see what this thing is like here. Interesting. Little high, but pretty accurate, I think. It's a little bit high, but not terribly so. Accuracy's not perfect. See how reload is here. 8+1. Yep, it seems like it. 8+1. Reload is not terrible per se. Of course, also the fact that I have to, you know, obviously there is, you know, mag drop, but the fact there's no slide release, and I have to, is slightly concerning. Slightly concerning, to say the least. It is admittedly cool, but at the same time, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really liking that not so much slide release. I'd say, if anything, this is probably going above the 1907 Roth. Yeah, I'd say it's probably going above the Roth, I think. The Roth 1907. Definitely C tier, for sure. Not terrible, but not exactly super great for a lot of good reasons. Huh. The M5. That is a very strange round. Like I said, I've never actually messed with this at all, so I don't know what this is. What is this in? 545 by 18 and full metal jacket and tracers. I do love the tilting barrel design. I like that sound though. That is very nice. Oh. That is really nice, actually, I have to admit. This also kind of looks like a P5 and a Makarov kind of decided to get together, and I'm not exactly sure if that's really right to say, but honestly, like, I don't hate it, I think. A little bit of a short barrel. 545 by 18, though. It's a very specific round. Well, let's see what happens here. See what this thing like. $20 rounds. Not really armor piercing. Slide release. I like it. Let's see what accuracy looks like. Low. Much better. Okay, so suppose give it a little bit of time. Not terrible per se. Obviously, it's a little odd to line up sights like so instead of, you know, anywhere better, but you know. It's not terrible per se, I think. Round really isn't much. Capacity's pretty okay. Actually, you know what? Before we go and say anything, what's the damage like? It looks pretty good. Damn. Okay. It's not terrible. Well, I'm actually kind of curious about this now. I guess I'll have to look more into this, but so far, I'd say this is definitely C tier for round, you know, caliber. Not terrible. Pretty good damaging, I'd say. Capacity's pretty nice. It isn't really terrible looking, actually. I kind of like it. Well, I'd say C tier, below the Roth, above the Frontier Model B, I guess. It's not terrible per se. It's kind of cool, actually. I'd say, you know, low C tier. Actually, that might be a little unfair to it, maybe. I'd say below the GSH, above the 1951. I think that's a good spot for it, actually. It's pretty capable, pretty nice, actually. Not terrible. I'd definitely run with it. It's kind of cool, actually. I like the sound design on it, too. Pretty nice. Alright, so now we get to these bad boys. The SW41. The series for this one, actually. And is, of all things, a 22. 10 and 12 rounds. What can really be said about this? I do admit it, like the, I think it's actually like a competition shooting gun, because of the, you know, simple barrel right here, and then you have the side piece and everything. Kind of like the the Alien. A little bit of recoil, which is surprising to say the least. But, you know. Sights are pretty okay. Nothing remarkable. And I think we're going to get rid of this 10-round mag, because we have a 12-round mag, which is kind of unheard of for, you know, a non-Ruger magazine-fed 22 pistol, to say the least. Damn accurate, too. This is the classic. I admittedly do like how it looks. It's pretty good, honestly. Pretty nice. Let's go ahead and check out the heavy version. Honestly, a little bit heavier, obviously a little bit thicker, a little bit simpler. See if there's any actual difference in recoil here. Not exactly. That's fine. I didn't expect there to be anyways. Pretty okay though. I do kind of like how it looks a little better, honestly, instead of being so long. And then of course there's the modern version. Very nice sort of faux wood finish. There's a top rail. I like the sights for it actually. A little bit more noticeable. About the same. I don't know. It's kind of cool actually, I have to admit. I think, you know, even though it's actually much lower in terms of its ammo capacity, I think if anything, I'm probably going to put this at the top of the 22s. Definitely above the even the Explorer 22. It's actually not terrible. Sounds pretty nice. Looks pretty cool. I think it definitely deserves it. Still D tier, sure, because it's 22, but still, not bad. Finally, we get to the P210. So we have the P210-1, the 210-5, and the 210-6, which are admittedly very, very different. So let's have a look real quick and see what these are all like here. So the 210-1, pretty nice looking, I have to admit. 9mm, as to be expected. Sights are very nice. Very accurate too. Seems like an A+1. Yep, seems like it. Pretty cool. Pretty okay. Kind of nice. There's also the 210-5. Much more modernized version. Very black and everything. Not exactly sure if I like this one better than the 210-1, but it's pretty nice, honestly. It's not terrible per se in terms of difference in sights. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. Now the 210-6 is a little bit different. It's functionally the same, but it's in 22 long rifle? Or is it 22 Win Mag? It's long rifle. It is. Good. So, high velocity hollows, as to be expected. Same sights. Same mag size. Honestly, not much to be said about these guys. I don't know. I suppose most likely probably above the P5 compact C tier. It's not terrible per se. It looks pretty cool. Works pretty nice. Has a few variants. Honestly, not really too much to be said, I'd say. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. Oh, our guy's actually here still. You can go now. God damn it.